going to talk about prokaryotic cells or prokaryotes and specifically bacteria. So here's an image of a prokaryotic cell structure. We're going to be talking about some of these organelles. So we'll talk about what is a cytoplasm, that's kind of that blue gel-like material. We'll talk about the nucleoid, which is the center material. Some prokaryotes have a flagella. Here we have pili. These are these kind of things that are coming out. Then we have ribosomes, which are the dots in here. Cytoplasmic membrane, which is this kind of light blue. Then we have the cell wall, which is in green. And then surrounding that, we have this capsule. All right, so we're going to talk about what a capsule is. So if you look in this image here, this kind of space around the bacteria, that's the outside area, that's what that capsule is. So what is a capsule? It's a protective covering around the bacteria or prokaryote. It's made up of polysaccharides, which are carbohydrates, and remember there are many monosaccharides that are bonded together like glucose, so poly is many. They keep the bacterium from drying out, and they also can protect it. The capsule is a major virulence factor in the major disease-causing bacteria. So what does that mean? So a virulence factor is a molecule that's produced by pathogens. So pathogens are things that can harm another organism. And so, for example, bacteria. Let's say bacteria is the pathogen, and it can harm you. You can get sick from it. How that works is the bacteria produces this molecule called the virulence factor, and that contributes it to the ability to cause diseases and harm the host. It also helps enable the prokaryote from achieving, it helps enable it by allowing it to colonize. And it also helps it attach to cells. So an example is Escherichia coli. We call it E. coli. You maybe heard of this in some food recalls or people getting sick from E. coli. The other one is called Streptococcus pneumoniae. So what is Streptococcus pneumoniae? It's a bacteria that can cause many types of illnesses that include pneumonia, which is an infection in your lungs, ear infections, sinus infections, meningitis, and just other things. This can spread, Streptococcus pneumoniae can spread through coughing, sneezing, and close contact. So chances are many of you have had Streptococcus pneumoniae. All right, cell wall. Cell wall gives the prokaryote its shape. It surrounds the plasma membrane, protecting it from the environment. It helps anchor appendages like pili or flagella. And it's responsible for keeping the cell from bursting when there's a large difference in osmotic pressure. So what that means is if you have a pressure grade, from inside the cell to outside the cell, if there's a big difference in pressure, what happens is the cell can swell or shrink. And we don't want it to burst if it gets too swollen, so that cell wall helps it to keep its shape so it doesn't burst. Right, nucleoid, it's a region of the cytoplasm where the chromosomal DNA is located. It is not a membrane-bound nucleus, so that's a big difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, is this nucleoid. Most bacteria have a single circular chromosome. Small circular DNA strands called plasmids are also found in the cytoplasm. All right, pili. So what are pili? They're small hair-like projections emerging from the outside cell surface. So if you can kind of see, it looks like little hairs. They assist or help bacteria to attach to other cells or surfaces. So if we check your keyboard and how it has all this bacteria stuck on it, that's probably because of the pili. It also can attach to your teeth. So maybe some of you have had some cavities before. That's because bacteria have been attached to your teeth, and they're kind of breaking down some different things. So these pili help it attach to it. That's why it's important to brush your teeth. It can be found in your intestines. It can be found in rocks. It can be found kind of everywhere. Without the pili, bacteria lose their ability to infect because they're unable to attach. So this is really, really important for bacteria's survival to have this pili. Prokaryotic ribosomes. This is the site of protein synthesis, which is the production of proteins. Bacterial ribosomes are never bound to other organelles. They're kind of just free floating. And you can kind of see these little dots, these kind of dots here. Those are the ribosomes. Again, we have the outside layer, that's the capsule. And then we have the cell wall. And then we have the plasma membrane and the nucleoid oid region or DNA right in here. Again, pili, these little hairs, and the flagella. So bacterial shapes. So we have quite a few different shapes. The first one is coccus, which means spherical or round. And then we have coccobacillus. So the shape of bacillus, this one is bacillus, it's kind of like a pill shape. So coccobacillus is kind of a round, it's in between coccus and bacillus. So it's somewhat round and somewhat pill shaped. We also have Vibrio, which is kind of a bent bacillus. We have Spirillum. And then we have Spirochete. Spirochete is kind of like goes around in that pattern. All right, so we also have bacteria are arranged in different ways. So we have the coccus. Remember, coccus means spherical. And we have Diplococcus and Streptococcus. So strepto means twisted chain. So this is a chain for Streptococcus, a chain of coccus. And so that's Streptococcus. Diplococcus, remember Diplo means two. So two of them are connected. Then we have Sarcinae. We probably won't talk a lot about Sarcinae. Sorry. We probably won't talk a lot about that shape. Then we have tetrads, which are fours, and then staphylococcal. Coccus or cocci, staphylococci. Cocci means that round shape, and then staphylo, that means a combining form where it means like bunch of grapes. It's borrowed from Greek, and they use that term to talk about a bunch of grapes. Tetrad, tetra means four, so you count this tetrad. Tetra means four, so 1, 2, 3, 4.